Okay, so we are going to talk about a definition. So pause the video and read through this quickly. Okay, so there are some things in our life that are periodic already. Okay, so if you think about the clock that we go by, generally we talk about any time between 1 o'clock through 12 o'clock, right? So the hours restart. If you're thinking about the army, they go on 24-hour time. Okay, the clock restarts after a certain period. It restarts after 12 hours, it restarts after 24 hours. Okay, so that's what it means for something to be periodic. So the sine and cosine functions are both periodic functions. So let's think about our point here. And we know that it goes cosine and then sine. Okay, so what happens to our sine if we go 2 pi radians around the circle? So we're starting here, but how far is 2 pi radians? It's an entire circle around, right? And what is the sine there? Notice how it's still the same. This is still our point x comma y, right? So even though we went 2 pi units around, radians around, we still have that same sine value. So did it change? And think about it for the cosine. Here we are, it's our x value. If we circle around, we travel 2 pi radians around, we're right back at the x. Okay, and so that's what we mean by periodic. Okay, and sort of in fancy math speak, this means for any integer n. So remember, integers are -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, and it keeps on in the negative infinity direction, and it keeps on in the positive direction. Okay, so basically it means non-fractions in plain English, right? The sine of any angle plus 2 pi n times is just equal to sine of t, and the cosine of an angle t plus 2 pi n times is equal to cosine t. The periods of the sine and cosine functions are 2 pi. Okay, so what this means is if I have the sine of pi over 4 plus 16 pi, okay, 16 pi, here n would be 8, right? Because 2 times 8 would give me the 16. I can say that this is just equal to sine of pi over 4. Okay, and if I have cosine of pi over 6 minus 28 pi, right? Here, my n would be -14 because 2 times -14 would give me the -28. Then this is equal to cosine of pi over 6. As long as this is an even multiple of pi and I'm adding to it or subtracting, okay, again, as long as this is an even multiple, it's almost like I can completely drop that and just look at the sine or the cosine of that angle. So the tangent function begins cycling through after pi radians. Okay, that's because remember our tangent is y over x, and so if we look at our thing, that's super helpful, our diagram, this is going to, pi units away is going to be -x, -y. Okay, this is pi units away, but look at our tangent here would be y over x. Our tangent here, which is t plus pi, right? Because here was t, we went another pi units, is going to be equal to -y over -x, but that's the same as y over x. Okay, so instead of cycling after 2 pi, the period for tangent is just pi. So what that means is if we have the tangent of, let's do pi over 4, and I add 7 pi, okay, as long as you have an integer multiple of pi, this is just going to be equal to the tangent of that first value. And similarly, if we have the tangent of, let's say, pi over 3, let's do negative pi over 3, minus pi. Okay, here again, we have an integer multiple of pi. The integer here is -1. This is just going to be equal to the tangent of negative pi over 3. Okay, so we want to use the periodic properties to find the value of each function. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to think over to the side, what is 31 over 4 as a mixed number? Okay, so 34 goes into 31 7 times and 3/4. Okay, because this is a sign and my period needs to be 2 pi, I am going to write this as plus 6 pi. Okay, so I am breaking this 7 into the closest. So this would be 6 plus 1 3/4. Okay, or 6 plus 7/4. So I am going to break this into 7 pi over 4. Okay, so then this becomes the sign of 7 pi over 4. Okay, because of this is now an even multiple of pi, it's almost like we can think about getting rid of it. And if we think about our unit circle, 7 pi over 4 is going to be here. I know from memorizing my unit circle that this is square root of 2 over 2, comma, negative square root of 2 over 2. So I know my sign is my y value, so this is negative square root of 2 over 2. Okay, much faster than trying to count around the circle 31 pi over 4 times. Okay,